Reese claimed that people watch women's basketball because of her, but when the Chicago Sky played at LSU, only 6,300 people showed up in a 13-0-seat arena. That's not even half full. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's preseason game sold out in minutes, and we have pictures that show empty seats everywhere, even though tickets were only $15.00. The numbers tell a completely different story. So I think it's time to finally put an end to the argument that there is any kind of needle mover that is even remotely. Let's examine why this reality check may be more painful than any block Angel Reese has ever faced. The lower bowl was half empty and the upper bowl was not open. That's correct. The images from Angel Reese big homecoming game at LSU are currently trending on social media, and believe me, they tell a story that Angel would prefer not to be seen. This was supposed to be her triumphant return, the Chicago Sky rookie returning to the venue where she won a championship, where the fans loved her, and where she became famous. You would think the arena would be packed to welcome their champion home. The Chicago Sky will visit LSU, the home court of Angel Reese. Man, it's going to be lit. But when game day finally came, something shocking happened. That 13,000-seat arena wasn't even half full. Only 300 fans showed up to watch Angel Reese play. Can you believe that over 600 seats are just sitting there empty, staring back at the cameras? It's more empty seats than filled ones. The photos taken inside the arena are completely embarrassing. You can see these wide sections with no one in them at all. The upper bowl was completely closed off because there weren't enough fans to warrant opening it. And in case you were wondering, I did the math. There were over 6,800 seats left in a 13-0-seat arena last night. Some people also claim that there were literally only $15.00 tickets available. What's even more bizarre is that tickets were as cheap as $15.00, which is essentially the cost of a fast food meal these days. For the price of a burger, fries, and drink, you could have watched a WNBA player who is constantly telling everyone how important she is to women's basketball, and people still weren't interested enough to come out and watch. Let's examine how bad this is. You know, it's not only disappointing, but it's also extremely embarrassing for someone who talks as much as Angel about her influence on the game, that they couldn't even fill half the arena with the 667 fans they needed to reach 50% capacity. The area of the crowd where the TV cameras are shown was full, but it was below 50% capacity. The upper bowl is empty, and the other half is half empty, which is not ideal. Did you notice how the camera shots during the broadcast kept using these really tight angles? That's because they were trying to hide. You can't hide the truth when thousands of seats are sitting there empty, but social media caught the real story. People were posting pictures of the arena's empty interior. Let me just blow this off your face. First, look at all the purple seats down here in this lower bowl section. Next, look at the entire top bowl. Forget about it. Now, you might be thinking, this doesn't seem like a big deal, but here's where it gets really interesting. Angel has been talking endlessly about how she attracts fans to women's basketball. Elle's homecoming game was attended by only 6,300 fans in a 13-0-seat arena, which is a complete embarrassment for someone who talks so much about her impact. The atmosphere was so dead compared to her college days. There was less energy, less excitement, and way fewer people than during a regular LSU game. The pictures don't lie. They show exactly how many people actually care enough to show up. It wasn't even half full. Even though the broadcast team did their best to conceal it, you could tell how quiet the place was. Last night, 6,373 fans came to see Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith, and by the way, she got a great pop. Keep in mind that this wasn't just any game for Angel. It was her homecoming, her return to the place where she won a championship, where she became famous, and where her fan base should be the strongest. If Angel Reese can't fill seats at LSU in her own college arena, where exactly can she do so? If those who watched her win a championship don't even bother to come when she returns, what does that say about her? Actually, the evidence is right in front of us. The pictures, the videos, the empty seats, all of them tell the same story. Angel Reese is not the draw she says she is, and her homecoming game proves it in the most painfully obvious way possible. Look at all those empty seats, people. That is crazy as hell. I mean, empty, 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 all that. Never mind all this. They got to put black tarps over it. Look at that. Look at that. The WNBA still has issues, and they have issues that go beyond just one player. I'm not sure what they did about it. The other rookie that everyone is talking about is Caitlin Clark. You won't believe the difference in how fans are reacting to these two players. It's like night and day. I'm making this video because at the end of the day, we're still seeing things online about, oh, you know, there are so many needle movers. Like Caitlin Clark is not the needle. Caitlin Clark's preseason game with the Indiana Fever didn't just have a good turnout. Every single seat was packed with fans who were eager to see her play. Watch Caitlin Clark play? There isn't a single empty seat in sight. The stark contrast between these two rookies is so evident that it's almost painful. One rookie is unable to fill half an arena in her college hometown, where she won a championship just a year ago, and the other rookie is selling out venues everywhere she goes. People are vying for tickets to see Caitlin Clark's performance. We can finally stop the argument. It seems like there are multiple needle movers as far as attendance goes as an individual. I think the Aces do a pretty decent job, and I think Liberty and Fairness to them do a pretty decent job. But when it comes to individuals, there is only one that people will go out and watch, and it's not Haley Van Lith, and it's definitely not Angus. And here's where it gets even more crazy. When tickets for Clark's preseason game at a Carver Hawkeye Arena went on sale, they didn't sell out in days, not even in hours. In just 27 minutes, so all of the tickets were sold out in less than 30 minutes, and people were scurrying to get them as if their lives depended on it. The fact that not even 50% of the tickets were sold out is absurd. In just 27 minutes, Carver Hawkeye sold out 15,000 tickets. You know, what people are doing to watch Caitlin Clark play, they're spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars on the secondary market just to watch her play in preseason games. For a second, consider this. Preseason games don't even count. These aren't playoff games. These aren't championship games. These are essentially practice games. And people are spending a lot of money just to be in the building while she plays. Now, contrast that with Angel's situation, where tickets for her game were selling for as little as $15, 0 cents, and even at that price, people weren't buying them. You could have watched a WNBA preseason game with national champion Angel Reese for the price of the newest Marvel film, and people would still have replied, no thanks. I mean, when they would sell out, it was because the Indiana Fever came to town. The Indiana Fever has even started playing in larger arenas since then. The reason for this is that there is so much demand to see Caitlin Clark play that their regular venues simply cannot accommodate everyone who wants to come watch. They literally had to find larger buildings because so many people want to see her play basketball. That's the definition of a true. The needle is Caitlin Clark, and you can realistically add anything you want. For example, you can add Haley Van Lith, who is a huge name in the WNBA. She is going back to LSU, even though she played there for 1 year and was awful, and it will be completely empty. This huge disparity in fan interest begs the important question of who is actually attracting new viewers to women's basketball. The numbers, ticket sales, and packed arenas don't lie. The attendance comparison clearly shows that Caitlin Clark is the only real force in women's basketball at the moment. She sells out arenas in a matter of minutes, while Angel Reese can't even fill half a gym with discounted tickets. Keep saying, look, Angel has a career as an influencer, Instagram face, and content creator, And let me stop you right there before you assume this is just about college loyalty. Caitlin Clark is selling out WNBA arenas where she has never performed before. And these aren't just Iowa fans who are chasing her around, are basketball fans from all over the world who want to watch her play. But Angel was unable to even fill her championship home court where she should have the most support. The numbers, ticket sales, and packed versus empty arenas tell the story. One rookie is changing the game and attracting more fans than ever before, while the other is realizing that whether Angel wants to acknowledge it or not, social media followers do not always translate into actual fans in seats. Well, people watch for me too. And that's an argument that I'm like, okay, yeah, like it makes not completely false, but there are levels. Last season, Angel Reese made a big statement about why people watch women's basketball. It was widely shared on social media. She didn't just imply that she was significant to the game. She told everyone that she was a big reason why people watched women's basketball. Now, Angel boldly told everyone the reason why we watch women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too. That is exactly what she said, not what someone else thought or anything that was lifted from context. That's exactly what Angel Reese said, word for word. She was essentially saying that she's just as important to viewership as anyone else in the game. However, the hard numbers are right in front of us, and they're telling a completely different story than what Angel has been saying. Those attendance figures from her LSU homecoming game don't even come close to supporting what she's been saying about her impact on the sport. Angel Reese decided to come out, and she said, I'm going to play the victim, or rather, the victim and the villain. People are watching for me, but they're not. If Angel is as popular as she says, why couldn't she even get enough fans to fill half of her home arena during her big return? This wasn't just any game. It was her homecoming, and she was returning to the place where she should have the most fans, the most support, and the most people excited to see her play, and still, half the arena sat empty. Intriguingly, everyone is watching Angel 2. The arena can accommodate 13,215 people, so if you're wondering, you need 667 fans to attend. The strangest thing about this whole situation is that despite Angel having millions of followers on social media, people who are supposed to care about what she's doing, saying, and wearing, they were nowhere to be found when it came time to actually show up and watch her play basketball. It seems like they only care about her Instagram posts rather than her actual basketball games. The narrative that people are watching for Me Too is that people are showing up for Me Too, but your numbers don't match the narrative at all. Only 6,300 fans attended Angel Reese's big game. If Angel is truly attracting all these new fans to women's basketball, as she claims, where were they when she returned to LSU? This discrepancy between what Angel says and what the attendance shows raises serious questions about whether she is more of a social media personality than a basketball draw. Is she famous for being famous, or is she famous for playing basketball? The evidence is beginning to suggest that it's more the latter than the former, as people seem more interested in her social media presence. The empty seats speak louder than any Instagram post ever could. People are upset about the media drama surrounding her basketball skills, and they only move the fever games there. However, I must say that this is to be expected because Angel Reese's previous statement about drawing attention to the game has been completely destroyed by these attendance numbers. Real-world attendance doesn't lie, and in Angel's case, the attendance is telling a very different story than the one she's been telling. There were 6,000 people there, and the arena can accommodate 14-0, so it received less viewers than most LSU home games. It was the homecoming game of possibly the best player for the Chicago Sky, and more people watched that than most LSU home games. It's beginning to appear that Angel Reese is just a social media influencer in a basketball uniform, not the game-changing star she says she is. She has followers, brand deals, and an online presence, But what she lacks, apparently, is the ability to get people to come and watch her play basketball. It does appear that many of the Angel fans are fans of Angel as a celebrity rather than like they're not even watching the games or anything about putting their money where their fans are traveling from all over the world to watch the games, but they're not even watching the Fever. And it basically sums everything up. For example, there shouldn't be any comparison in impact with anyone who isn't Caitlin Clark because we saw Paige playing in Notre Dame, which was, I believe, the second least attended Notre Dame women's basketball game of the year. The truth is now coming out, and all those claims about attracting new viewers to the sport are looking pretty hollow when she can't even fill half an arena in her university hometown. Angel Reese's claims are being hit harder by the reality of those empty seats at LSU than by any block or rebound she has ever made on the court, and no amount of social media posts can change that. To be honest, I thought they would sell out, but this underperformed my already under-targeted assessment of the situation. Look at those photos from LSU. You can see all those empty seats where Angel Reese played her homecoming game. There's no way to hide it. The fans just didn't come up, which reveals a lot about who is actually attracting new fans to women's basketball, since Caitlin Clark sells out venues in a matter of minutes with ticket prices in the hundreds. The cost of a burger and fries is $15.00, and Angel was unable to sell enough tickets to cover half of her home court. When it comes to the struggle to determine who is truly advancing the needle in women's basketball, the answer was already in the empty seats at LSU.